The next love need is affirmation. All children need to be affirmed. They need to be told that that was good, you're doing well, you can do it, I believe in you. And all the other words of affirmation that you can think of. I mean, they are exhaustive. We cannot talk about them all today. You can make them up for yourself. Turn to a child or a neighbor next to you and say something affirmative. And don't be fake. Do it genuinely. There's something about everybody that is complimentary. Go ahead. Tell someone something good about themselves. You are beautiful. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. I like your smile. You wear those shoes so well. You are an excellent speaker, etc., etc. So affirmation is good, and it allows a child to have self-respect and dignity, personal value. It's okay to be who God wants me to be. Otherwise, they will feel ashamed and even develop a shame core because they don't feel like they're good enough. There will be neediness, like, okay, I always need to be affirmed by someone, and if not, then I'm no good, you know. And victim expectancy. Go into a relationship, you expect to be victimized. So it's like, okay, when is this going to happen? When is this job going to, end? When is this relationship going to break up? Because I'm just not good enough. And it starts as early as us not affirming our children. Attention. All children need attention. They need you to look at them. There are some times when I'm not looking at my own children. They know I'm not looking at them. And they said, Mommy, I need you to look at me. And I have to smile and stop what I'm doing and looking, because I'm saying, yes, and they know I'm not looking. Say yes or no. Look, Mommy, look. Daddy, look. So it's important for us to attend. And attend does not only mean looking, it means listening, it means hearing what they are saying or not saying. And it means understanding, putting yourself in their shoes, and really being there. That's what attention is all about. You can be here. I've heard persons say that their parents were always in the room with them when they were younger. They cannot fault their parents on not being there. However, they were not there emotionally for them. So physical attention is different from emotional attention. So if your child has a game, you don't turn up at the game and you're tweeting, you're on the phone, but you're paying attention. And when the child is looking at you in the stands, they can see that you're there attending. It makes them feel good. If the attention needs are not met, the children will have difficulty playing. They will be overly serious and become judgmental or self-righteous. Protection. All children need to be protected. And this protection is physical, in terms of somewhere to live, feeling safe, being cared for physically, having a bath, being cared for. If they get a cut, it's not left to fester, it's covered. Just being protected from perpetrators. People would want to molest them. If they're on the busy thoroughfare, you put them on the inside and stuff like that. We know, open the car door for them and so forth. So this protection helps them to feel safe. However, what will happen if the protection needs are not met? There will be all types of fears and irrationality. So there are monsters under the bed, and all those things that we have to really teach. And by the word of God, we have to let them know that God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. And so if the protection needs are not met, both physically and psychologically, I feel safe, at church, I feel safe at school. Nobody's bullying me, nobody's calling me names, and so it's a safe place. Then they will have a healthy sense of morality and they'll feel okay to talk about problems. But if there are fears, they will have conscience difficulties. They will have inability to speak out what is happening with them, and they will have poor boundaries or walls. So they don't know when to cut the line, they don't know when to draw the line, and they don't know when not to draw the line. So it's a poor boundary. And sometimes they don't talk at all because they don't know what to say. So protection is very important. Discipline. All children need to be disciplined. I want you to turn to your neighbors and say, no. Yes, say no. That's a part of disciplining. The Bible tells us that foolishness is bound up in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction will drive it out. However, remember that the shepherd's rod does not mean that the shepherd uses the rod and beat the sheep over the head, right? But the rod of correction is using that hook on the rod to pull the sheep back from danger. Now, when the sheep is coming back from danger, from hanging over the cliff or falling into a hole or whatever, it's going to take some pressure, and there's going to be a little friction there, but it's for the sheep good. So we know that the Lord, he does chasten those whom he loves. And so there's going to be, some feeling of discomfort there because the Lord is putting us in the right place away from danger, right? But when we realize where we were going and what he saved us from, then we realize that his correction is good. His correction, it's not for our harm, but for our salvation. All right, so when we are disciplined, we learn a balance between mercy and justice. Mercy and justice. So, yes, you did something wrong. However, these steps will get you back in line. And so, if we ignore something that is done that's wrong and constantly ignore it, then we, are teaching that child, without saying so, that what they're doing is right because we're ignoring a particular behavior that is not good. So we have to discipline our children. The story is also told of a brother and sister who went to visit their grandmother, and the little boy accidentally hit one of grandma's ducks with a pebble, and the duck died. And so his sister, who saw what happened, used the incident to blackmail him. So she would go to her grandma and say something like, "Grandma, did you know that John," and then he didn't want her to talk, he would say shh, and she would stop for a while, and then if he had something that she wanted, she would say, "Remember the remember the How many of us did that as children. Remember the or ma, me. And we start to say something, but we're not really saying it because we want to blackmail our brothers and sisters. So it's not healthy. And so we need to discipline our children whenever they are out of line, so they will learn to get back in line, and that for some negative behaviors there are consequences, right? But the consequences are done in love. So there's a difference now between discipline and punishment. The punishment is an adverse measure, right? So it is the slapping or calling names or, something that is very negative. However, the discipline now, it's also adverse because a privilege or something will be removed. However, you are learning a lesson from it. And sometimes, in order to be effective disciplinarian, we too have to go through the discipline with the children. Yes, because if we say, you're not going to the party, then we can't go anywhere either. We have to stay home with them. So invariably, the parent is being disciplined as well. Comfort. Children need to be comforted. So they need to have warm blankets. They need to have, just the right type of atmosphere to learning. Or, if it's a seat, we know that some seats are better for boys than girls based on their physical makeup, and, at home, if they have their own rooms, and so you try to make them comfortable in there and just let them feel a sense of belonging. Some things that help them feel comfortable is having their own work being displayed in their own areas, to let them feel that sense of ownership and comfort. When they are comfortable, they will learn to forgive. They will learn the wisdom of reconciliation. They will learn compassion and empathy. And they will learn the ability themselves to comfort. So when they're crying, when they reach out to us because of something that hurts them, what do we say? What, do we tell them to stay away, or that you're dramatic, you are overdoing it, stop doing that, stop saying that, you're lying, you don't really feel that way? So no, they need to be comforted. And sometimes even us as older children, we need comfort as well. What says the younger ones? So when they're comforted, they learn it's okay to feel. So let them feel. If they are not comforted, they will feel difficulty when they are supposed to forgive. They will have blocked feelings because every time they try to express themselves, it shut them down. Difficulty comprehending, the cross for themselves. They don't understand that great level of compassion that Christ showed on our behalf, because it's not demonstrated at home in anything. And they too have a lack of compassion. It's like that part of them was not developed at all. Finally, guidance. Guidance is different from discipline. Guidance is ensuring that you spend time listening, talking with them, hearing what they're saying, and where they are stuck in terms of their own thought processes or development, you are able to give that expert advice. But you won't be able to give an expert advice unless you know the child. Guidance allows the child to have appreciation for their experience. They learn respect for their elders. So it's very important that children seek your voice, your advice, your thought processes about something before they venture into it. So we find that today children are turning more to the media, they're turning more to their friends and other sources instead of to their parents. So the parents' voice is important, and that guidance is very, very important. So it gives them also a sense of direction. They know where they're going in life. So our guidance counselors, our mentors, our big brothers, our big sisters, they are there as that voice to guide them, to help them to go from point A to point B. So if they're not given the guidance, they will have a difficulty reasoning from cause to effect. So, oh, this behavior caused that. So when they're misbehaving, and in the disciplining, you teach them that because of this, it caused that. And so they will learn self-dependence, and they will learn to be decisive and choose well. Otherwise, there will be others dependent, indecisiveness, and a difficulty to reason from cause to effect. So these are the 7 love needs that children have, and basically any other need can fall under these 7. So if it's food, it might go under comfort. Clothing might go under protection. Shelter might go under protection, and so forth. So all our needs will basically fall under these 7 love needs. I hope you learned something today, and I do hope that as we leave from this Child Month, we will leave with a different perspective to help our children to be more confident in talking about the things that are not being met in terms of their love needs, and how we can work together as home, school, church, society to help to meet the needs of our children. I thank you.